Call to order. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Watch the
The Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Be careful of the wheels. So as far as announcements, this meeting is being recorded by the local scene. Anyone intending to make an audio or video recording of this meeting should notify the chair at this time. There are several volunteer opportunities at the Council on Aging, including but not limited to Meals on Wheels, volunteers, volunteer help at the cafe, volunteers needed with computer skills, and senior tax write-off volunteer opportunities. If you are interested in any of these or would just like to volunteer in general, please reach out to the director of the COA. For those who wish to contact the COA Advisory Board, please note our email, coa-ab@kingstonma.gov. And right now, we don't have any activity on that. Is there anybody who wants to be on open forum? No? Okay, as far as the meeting minutes, you all should have a copy of the secretary report for November 18th. Have you all read the report? Any questions? Anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make
To
a
approve?
motion to approve the minutes for November 18th,
Any,
2025.
and anybody second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next item, new business number 1. The Aging Dementia Working Group Livable Kingston Action Plan Survey Update by Joanne Zigmont from Old Colony Planning Council. And Joanne is with us on Zoom.
Hello,
Is there
welcome
anything
everyone.
you have in mind to discuss today?
Yes, so Holly asked that I give you all.
Joanne, hang on just 1 second. We can't
Yeah.
hear you very well here.
Oh, how's that? Any better yet?
No, let me just check.
You put her in time.
Should be coming for our large speakers, but it's.
Always impressed to see how people who screen and do this.
Okay, try again, Joanne.
Not me.
How about now? Does that sound any better to you all?
No, it's coming to a computer and not on speakers.
Love the face.
Have you tried the little arrow on Zoom next to the audio? You can choose which output you want.
Try now. Can you hear me, Joanne?
I can hear you a little bit. Yeah, can you guys hear me better?
Now
There you
we
go.
can hear
Oh,
you.
good. Good. Okay, so Holly asked me to give you all a little bit of an update on the survey that was conducted a few months ago. We have the results in and they're written up in a pretty detailed document. I don't know if Holly shared that with you all. If you do want to see the actual document, she can. There's a lot in it to unpack, so I'm only going to go through things for no more than 10 minutes just to kind of give you a sense of what folks said. But then the details are in that document, so you can go into a lot more if you read that. Just going to share my screen. I think I should be able to, yeah, let's see. Okay, can everybody see that okay? Is it big enough?
No.
Bigger.
Yeah. Bigger?
Yes.
Let me do this. How's that?
Didn't change.
It didn't change. Try this again. How about now?
That's good.
Good? Okay, good. All right, so we, in 2025, we ran the community survey for about a couple months. We received 516 responses, which is a really, really, really good response rate for a small town like Kingston. By comparison, sometimes we've run surveys in towns of Kingston size and only gotten 100 responses if we were lucky. So 516 is a great response. I know Holly and working group members put a lot of effort into getting people to reply to that. So it's a huge shout out to them. We had most of the respondents identify themselves as residents of Kingston. The remaining either worked in Kingston or provided caregiving for somebody who lived in Kingston. So all the responses are relevant. We did have more adults over the age of 65 and more women reply to the survey than those groups are kind of represented in the general population. And also we didn't have any respondents who are under the age of 24. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're thinking about what was said, is that there might be a bit of an overrepresentation among those groups. So you can't really completely generalize to what folks generally in the community might be thinking, because it could potentially be a little bit different if you got more folks under 65 responding and participating, or more men, for example. Nevertheless, the responses do reflect a really wide range of lived experiences. We did ask folks if they were veterans, if they were caregivers, what their race and ethnicity was, a whole bunch of other demographic questions, and there was a good representation among all of those groups. So it's still a legit sample of your community and your residents and what they think. Overall, 2/3 of respondents to the survey did view Kingston as a good or a very good place to live as people age. So that's really good news. You can see the orange is very good and the lighter kind of teal color is good. Very few people thought the community was poor or very poor, and then most everybody else thought it was acceptable. So this is overall a really great indicator that residents view Kingston favorably. About a quarter of them, we did ask some questions about potentially moving out of town or moving to a different home. About a quarter of them did expect to move about a quarter of them did expect to move in the future. And their concerns related to the move usually centered around cost of living, housing suitability, it might be too small or too big, and also accessibility. So for example, homes that don't have steps. So this kind of suggests to us generally that, as I said, Kingston is viewed favorably as a community in which to age in place, but there are structural pressures that could be threatening residents' ability to do so. We asked residents, so if you remember, I think I spoke to you all probably about a year ago or so, it's been several months at least. Our process is based on AARP's framework for age-friendly communities. And in that framework, there are 8 areas of focus, which are called domains. Those are listed here. We asked residents in the survey to rank these areas of focus or domains according to what they think is top priority for the community to be addressed. Housing clearly came out as the number one. You can see that 44% of respondents chose housing as the number one priority, far more than any of the other domains presented here. The bottom, excuse me, was communication and information, as well as employment and civic engagement. This doesn't necessarily mean that residents thought it wasn't a priority. It's just in the context of all these others, these are the 2 that kind of were at the bottom of the pack. You can see most clearly by looking at the red that, 18%, 19% put these as literally the last priority, the 8th priority. Everything else in the middle, the community health and social services, social participation, outdoor space and buildings, respect and social inclusion, they're all kind of tied in the middle. The document with the summary that Holly has and can share goes a little bit more into detail about what this means, but essentially everything else in the middle is kind of tied. Different people thought these were all different priorities, but in general, everybody thought they were kind of somewhere in the middle. Housing. No,
Back,
go ahead.
back to the previous page. There's one there labeled transportation. What category does that fall in?
So that one actually falls into roughly equal. That's a really good catch. I messed up my arrow here. So this arrow should go up here too. So transportation, you can kind of see 9% shows it as number 1, which is kind of similar to these other groupings here. And then 14% shows it as the last priority, which is kind of similar to these here. So transportation should be in that kind of middle bucket, roughly equal with kind of these other ones. Thank you for catching that. So on housing, I'm not going to go through each of these specific things in detail because it would take too much time. But in general, it was definitely thought to be the most urgent challenge in the community. The respondents to the survey expressed strong concerns about affordability, availability, and accessibility of housing options that were suitable for aging residents. And in general, there seems to be a limited awareness of available options or services. So on this chart here on the right, you can see that folks could choose from very poor to very good, but we also actually gave them an option of don't know. And for some of these items, a lot of people just didn't know. So that's where we kind of get an indicator of where the limited awareness is. But the key message is essentially that affordability, availability, and accessibility are kind of your 3 A's in the community that residents are most worried about when it comes to housing. Outdoor spaces and buildings. This area was generally seen as pretty good, with a few notable strengths, in particular town-owned buildings that are accessible. Folks thought those were good or very good. There were, however, some clear gaps, mostly related to comfort and accessibility. So things like more or improved outdoor recreational places for people of all abilities was thought to be an area that needed more improvement, as well as outdoor community gathering places, places where people could just kind of, hang out or come together. The big gaps that were identified were benches and seating in public areas, as well as public restrooms. Now, the benches and seating is a relatively straightforward thing that a community can work on. Public restrooms are obviously a lot more complex. But those are the 2 clear gaps when it comes to outdoor spaces and buildings that the survey respondents let us know about. Transportation, probably no surprise, Kingston is a highly car-dependent community, but walking is actually quite common. We asked some questions about that. You can read about that in more detail. But the conditions for pedestrians and bicyclists were rated poorly overall. You can see in this chart here, the teal and the orange are good or very good. So you can see that very few areas actually rated as good or very good. The key issues really probably won't come as a surprise to you. Lack of sidewalks, very few benches, which I mentioned on the previous slide as well. Accessibility barriers. So that could be things like, it depends on how somebody interpreted it, but typically it's like utility poles that might be in the middle of a sidewalk, or big potholes that you can't get through or something like that. And then unsafe conditions for bicyclists. With Health services and community supports. It was, again, similar to open spaces and buildings, a lot more favorably viewed across the board in general. You can see a lot more orange and teal on this table here. Residents generally perceive the community's access to healthcare more positively, especially regarding proximity to healthcare professionals and emergency care. But many residents, and again, you won't be able to see this in this chart here, but you can in the document that we've drafted. Many residents aren't clear about what services are available locally, how to access them, or whether they are affordable, particularly those related to in-home care, mental health, and memory loss or dementia. So a lot of these items here, we had pretty high responses that indicated don't know when they were asked about them. Social participation, respect, and inclusion. In general, most respondents do feel socially connected, and Kingston does not appear to have an issue with widespread chronic loneliness. We did ask some questions about loneliness and kind of related feelings, and it was on par with other communities that we've worked in, so it doesn't seem to be unusual, the levels among residents in Kingston. However, about a fifth of respondents did say that they do experience loneliness or isolation at least sometimes. So there's still a group of, there's still a group of folks in Kingston that do feel that way often enough to consider it when we're planning for a more livable community. Affordable activities and programs for older adults received relatively positive ratings. Opportunities for intergenerational interaction were rated lowest in this domain. So having, the younger population either volunteer or work or just socialize together more often with the older generation was something that was seen as an area that could definitely be improved. Perceptions of respect and inclusion were mixed. Many respondents weren't really certain whether older voices were consistently valued in community decision-making. So that was kind of a little bit more of a mixed bag that you can read more about in our draft findings. Civic participation in employment, opportunities for civic engagement, especially participation in boards, committees, and town meeting were seen more positively than employment-related opportunities. Many value Kingston's tradition of direct democracy. We did ask about how many folks who took the survey actually had attended a town meeting in the past, and it was a good chunk. You can read more about that. But barriers like time, caregiving responsibilities, the length of meetings, and a lack of awareness do hinder participation, and that's pretty typical in most communities. Opportunities for employment and volunteering for older adults and people with disabilities received poorer ratings, but there was also a large chunk of people that just didn't know. So that suggests limited visibility, accessibility, or availability. So there's potential areas of improvement there as well. Communication and information. So this actually turned out to be more positive than some of the other communities that I've worked in more recently. Residents in Kingston generally feel pretty confident about accessing town information. However, they find it more difficult to access information about jobs, volunteer opportunities, and civic engagement. So there might be some opportunities around those things to help get the word out in the community. While most residents have internet access and prefer email, the results do still indicate a need for clearer and more coordinated and more user-friendly communication within the community, which again isn't really a surprise. Communication is very challenging these days, and it's pretty typical for many of our towns. The survey included a lot more questions. We asked about whether or not people have used the senior center. We gave folks an opportunity to leave their own comments. We asked some questions about how folks hear about activities that are happening and a whole bunch of other stuff. that I don't really have time to go over with you all today, but Holly does have the draft that she can share with you all. It is still a draft, so please don't share it too widely because we want to make sure that we finalize it before it goes out to public comment through the process. The next steps for the age-friendly project. So the working group has decided that it will focus on housing. Very clear direction from the community survey on that one. There's currently a poll out to working group members, asking them to choose which 2 other domains they would like us to focus on. I've gotten about half the working group members' responses back today, as of today, and I'm chasing the rest for their responses. So hopefully by the end of the week, the working group will have decided which other 2 areas they want to focus on. What the working group will be doing now is meeting on a monthly basis to talk about each of the domains that we've selected in detail. Typically, we have a guest speaker who talks a little bit about what the issue is, what other communities are doing, and some of the things that Kingston might want to think about. And then we talk about it in the working group. I'll do some interviews or focus groups, depending on what's needed for that topic, to learn a little bit more about what's happening in the community and what people are thinking. And then all of that comes together into a draft action plan that we will put out for public consultation. So folks in the community will be able to come to a public meeting to hear what the plan is all about, and they'll be able to read it and provide their comments on it also before it's finalized sometime in kind of the early to midsummer. And my contact details are on the slide, and obviously, Holly is available as well too, if you guys have any further questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody have any questions right now, or?
That was pretty.
So you had mentioned that, Holly, you have the same draft,
I do.
so
So
we
the,
can review.
the graphs that you see.
But you have it just for us. Okay.
36
Yeah, I gave her a copy of the slides, and there's also like I don't know, it's probably like 25 pages or something, summary of the findings from the survey.
Well, it sounds like it's gone well.
It has, yeah, it's a really great response. I'm really, really pleased with that. So it's really good info.
Good job. Thanks, Joan.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day. So the next item on the agenda is new business 2. We have a guest speaker here today. Actually, we have the 2 ladies from Friends, Mary Hayes and Mary Booton. You're on.
Well, good morning, and my name is Mary Booton, and I am clerk to the Friends of the Kingston Council on Aging. We are a 501c3 group, which means that any donations that you'd like to give to us, membership fees, those are all tax deductible for you and adds to the kitty for us to expend for here. Last year, we expended over $7,000 on various things, and just a few here. We sponsored Dot McFarland's craft classes, Train Your Brain. We did postage for the Anchor, the Real Pirates of Salem program, that wonderful 60s band, the Bombshell Betty production. We had the ice cream truck for a couple of times. Roy is that popular.
In the freezing cold.
It doesn't matter. We supplied the Thanksgiving and Christmas paper products and desserts. Our Friends' annual meeting and dinner at the Knights of Columbus, Mother's Day and Father's Day raffles. And we did have some lunches at the, the function hall at KFC. And we have ongoing gift shop and cookbook sales to earn money. And by the way, here's the book. It's available for $20. Well, you get 2 or 3. And it all goes towards things that are needed here at the center, as far as programs, Holly hasn't made any specific requests yet. The only thing I know for sure that we're doing is we'll have an election again. We have an annual meeting and election once a year. And there are two positions up, the position of director and clerk. Those are available this year if anybody wants to sign up for them. Let's see. So all our meetings are open. You can just walk in and talk. Obviously, you can't vote, but we take all your suggestions very seriously. And we have some great discussions and, we're open. We're open to one another about different ideas or how to approach things. So anytime you feel like coming in, we're glad to have you. There any questions?
When do you meet?
We meet the second Friday of the month at 1 p.m. in the Arts and Crafts Room. Anything you like that?
Question, Mary, are you taking donations for the gift shop currently? Or will you be? in the
Give
near
us
future?
another couple of weeks and we will be. We're trying, we have the cart there that has all the Christmas items that we've marked that are half price. And we'll negotiate if you want to do that. We need to get those out of there to bring more stuff in. There just is no storage space. My cellar was interesting for a while with all the stuff. I have a wonderful gentleman who gives me lots of stuff. A lot of the jewelry that's in the boxes in the case, that's all branded stuff. It's good stuff. Then we have other, I've bought so much jewelry here. And earrings, etc. But give us till the end of the month. We'd like to get the Christmas stuff out of there. We have other stuff, goodies, in the closet in the back room that they want to pull out. But we've had several people want to bring us stuff. We just needed to be able to get one season out and get the next one in. Yes.
As far as this coming year, what are your plans?
We don't have any specific plans at the moment, other than we will do the annual meeting and election, the date to be determined. It's usually in either June or July, and it's off-site. It's one thing that's not held here. It's off-site, and we have it catered. But the nomination sheets will go up for the two positions, and please sign your name if you're really interested to get on the board. Young blood is always appreciated. So I'm not one of the young ones.
Did you say you have another project upcoming, a calendar?
That's in the talking
Okay,
stages.
so it hasn't got off.
No, it has
Okay.
not gotten off the ground yet. We're talking to those that we've approached to participate, but nothing is final, so. And it's definitely not the board that's going to be on the calendar.
We have the police and
Yeah.
yeah.
As I say, everything is still in the works. So we didn't really want to get it out there
Okay.
yet. But that's okay. We love you. Anything else? No?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. And any book orders?
Yeah.
The sales are still coming through, huh?
Yes.
Yeah,
My-
there's a lot of nice things in there.
My daughter, through her work, has sold 12 of them for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so, yeah, it all goes towards the center. Say Holly hasn't given us anything she wants yet, but
We'll get her.
I suspect she's probably accumulating that list is gonna
come in maybe in February or March and say, here, folks.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
join us again with any new
Thank you,
updates.
Mary.
No more questions, or?
Oh, we also have another Mary on the board, Mary Ann.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
there it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
We have some nicknames.
So- So, new business 3, discussion with a candidate, Melissa Clemens, regarding her interest in joining our COA advisory board. And you all have a copy. You all have a copy of the letter, Melissa's letter of interest. You can introduce yourself.
Sure.
Anything you want to tell us? or-
Sure. So I'm Melissa Clemens. I'm a resident in Kingston. I'm a registered nurse for about 20 years. I recently took a step back from nursing. My last position was kind of making me unhappy, and it was just time for a break, at least from that. I'm very passionate about, advocacy. I did a lot of that in one of my previous roles. And it's just very important to me, especially with the elderly population. As people get older, they need more support, they're more vulnerable. So it's just important to me to be able to help in some way. And I'm not actively a nurse right now, so I want to put myself out there in another way to help people. And it just seemed like a good fit, and I want to do more for my town and my community. I've been a Kingston resident for 10 years, and this is my first opportunity to really be part of the town. So that's what interested me. And I also have elderly parents. My dad has dementia, and that's been challenging. Yeah, so especially on my mom, and I see all of the things that come along with that, and so it's
So did you mention you had followed a few of our meetings, or,
yes, yeah.
and you took that survey that we had?
The survey.
The Livable Kingston study.
I know about it, but I don't remember ever having gotten the survey to take it myself. But I've
You're
I've been
familiar.
following along with oh, I thought you meant did I take it like myself?
No, I mean, you're familiar with what we can work.
Yes, I've been looking at that, which I found very interesting. All that information is so helpful to know what the needs of the community are, so I think it's fantastic.
Anybody, any questions from Melissa?
I feel so bad. It's tough on a family.
Yeah, it's hard.
And a lot of people don't understand what that person is going through
Yeah,
and has it.
yeah, it's
And we
especially,
had, at one time, we did have I don't know if anybody remembers, but we did have a class with them coming in to show us how difficult it is for the Alzheimer's person, that they gave us gloves because they can't, put a button up their shirt. There's so many things that you don't realize that's going on with them.
and we did that in nursing school. They
Did
had
you?
us put goggles
I-
on and try to open pill bottles with gloves and.
And we had a person here whose husband was badly dementia and eventually to the Alzheimer's. And this was after he passed. She took the class and she said she wished she had known about what was going on with him. So
Yeah.
she could have helped him more. So that's another thing that maybe we could get back here just to,
Yeah.
because let's face it,
Right?
it's not, your father has to be young. He can't be,
He's
you're young.
84.
Oh, right. he's
Yeah.
my age, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's tough on the caregiver. I
Yeah.
find that
Oh, yeah, and you have to be
Really.
careful of her too, because it takes a lot out of it.
it does.
How did you hear about the advisory board? What brought you to us?
So really just thinking about myself and how I could fit in and do something for the community. I just was looking for a good fit where my nursing background and my experience with my own family, just the senior center just seemed like the first place for me to go. So,
Good idea.
We need young blood.
Any
Yes,
questions
you do.
for any of us?
um, Where, I guess, like, my only question is where you, if there's anything you can think of that there is a need for somebody new to come in and help with, I'd be interested
A
to know what
younger
those
mind.
things are.
What'd you say?
A younger mind.
Well, I like what you said about that class.
What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I love to teach. In nursing, that's my favorite thing to do is
Yeah.
teach people things.
Yeah,
So
it was a good class.
I
We
love to
did
be
have it here.
involved in some of
Wow.
those things here.
Who taught it?
I'm not sure who did it, but, I just know I went to it and I thought it was, excellent. In fact, it was right here in this room. And, the woman, like I said, her husband had passed, but she went, and to her, it was like, I just wish I knew. So it's something that we might all get there.
How many years ago was this?
Well, it was. it
Someone
wasn't-
before me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
it
before
It might have been the Alzheimer's Association, somebody from, or
Oh, but
ARP.
it has to be too, because it was, you would probably know, or maybe not, but people who give classes like that.
But that's what Holly said, I
Yeah.
would say.
They-
somebody from
yeah.
a-
Very, very interesting, and it just makes people aware. And it shouldn't just, it should be out there for the younger generation who are going to be putting up with the elderly, I hate to say the word elderly, because I haven't.
So as the advisory board, we would go to Holly and ask her to try to reach out and find out who did it. Because we are not a governing board, we just are an advisory
Advisory
board.
board,
We
right.
make no decisions. We just
Okay.
bring stuff to the board and
Ideas.
ideas and discuss them. And if they're worthy, we will ask Holly to go further. We don't make decisions, we just advisors. So if somebody steps up to you like they do to
Like
us,
you say, look into it.
yeah, we'll look into it. We usually go to Holly, or if it's an immediate need, we send that person to Holly. But, we should have some background on it anyway, if they approach us. Not to make a decision, but we should know a little bit more about who's sponsoring this, program or whatever. So, yeah.
I think as a board member, what the future is gonna bring is opening up.
Yeah.
To new possibilities, so we can always use help in the board with all our projects. And just like this
The younger
livable
one.
Kingston, who knows what else is gonna.
I sit on that board and it is very intense. 36 pages in the handout. I just went through it all the last couple of weeks. It's very interesting, but I can see it overlapping into our questions. Like I have a big question about transportation. Yes, I know we provide it, but I don't know transportation like I feel I should know. It would be nice to have Patty maybe someday come. We could present some questions to her. There's a lot of things that I don't know. I just know we have it available. But instead of saying, well, I'm not sure, I would like to say, this is what I think, but please go to Patty or please go to Holly. But I would like to have a much better background. And I'm thinking the transportation overlapping with the housing, that's a big thing. If you're going to stay in Kingston, you're going to need, and you can't drive any longer, you're going to need how to access GATRA or whatever. Yes, we have it, but what does it cover? Where did they go?
Well, and we're really only a piece of that larger puzzle of
Yeah.
transportation. So we service residents 60 and older. So anyone 60 and older in Kingston is eligible to receive or to take advantage of our transportation system at no cost. But there's restrictions there. We only go a certain distance. We're contracted through GATRA, so we're only afforded certain liberties. So transportation as a whole within the town, within the community and the outskirts it's an
piece.
obvious issue, and we're again, only a small piece of that.
Right.
Kathy, you had found that out going through,
Right.
The elder services,
Elder services,
the LIFT
this was
program.
available? Yeah.
Yeah, LIFT program. I can go back and forth to Boston hospitals with LIFT for nothing.
And I worked in the dialysis world, so I saw a lot of transportation issues with the dialysis patients,
Yeah.
getting to treatment 3 times a week, and there's a lot of challenges.
And my comment was because I sit on the aging, aging in place. I'm starting to mingle a couple of things that we do with them, and it's like, gotta try to keep it separate, but I really need the background, you know?
Any other
Love to
questions?
learn, but we're
Mhm.
always here to help.
I think it'd be very helpful.
It's, you know, it's a nice.
Thank you for interested, being on the board. Now, it's suggested maybe you sit down a couple meetings to make sure this is a good fit for you. Get to know our board and our procedures. You would probably have to work with Harley when the time comes to fill out a volunteer application and all that goes with that.
Okay.
And then what we would do is take a vote to recommend you to our board. And with that result, going to the select board for their approval. And then if it all works out, your appointment in that order. And the final result, you'd be sworn in at the clerk's office. And they've worked with you when doing any kind of conflict of interest training or whatsoever. But you probably want to make sure this is going to be good for you.
I'll come back.
So come
Couple
back
more
after,
times and- Sure.
and then when you're ready. So any other questions or?
Are you ready now?
But yes, I'd be happy to sit in
Okay.
and learn more about what you guys do. So
I'd like
thank
you
you
to-
for
Yeah.
I'd like you.
having me and listening to me.
Thank you.
so much.
So next staff committee reports, Holly.
Sure. So you have a
You
copy.
don't have to leave.
Everyone should have a copy of the director's report for, as we're recapping, I'm doing January, December and January, so. This month's events at the senior center are Train Your Brain, Frankly's speaking presentation, a local history presentation with Nick Catullus from the Kingston Public Library. We show movies, we have a watercolor painting class. We recently showed a webinar on decluttering that was hosted through AARP, so we just sort of have the room open for people to join in on that over Zoom. And last Friday, we had a welcome 2026 party with singer entertainer Laura James.
And she was excellent.
It was fun. I saw some people dancing.
The food
Lot
was
of
wonderful.
Mayonnaise.
With a cookie sheet.
This month we are offering a new fitness class. Qigong is pronounced. We had an introductory session last week, and Qigong is used for improving physical, mental, and emotional health through a combination of gentle movements, breathing exercises, and meditation. It can help manage stress, reduce anxiety and depression, and improve sleep. It can also support physical functions, balance, and energy levels. I'm hearing a lot about opening up the lymphatic system and breathing and just general overall health. Classes will be held on Monday mornings at 11 o'clock for $5 per class. So we're always looking to sort of fill the gaps of, you know, we say exercise, but like fitness, overall health, what that looks like individually and part of the broader picture. So this is something that we're trying, and it's sort of filling the gap of
So say it again, how do you pronounce it?
Qigong.
Qi?
Qigong.
So the Q is a C? Qi,
Yeah.
or a
Something like that. Qigong.
I went to the class, but didn't know where I was going.
Yeah. In addition to those events, we have office hours with our state representative Kathy Lenatra, Kingston Police Department Chief Brian Holmes, as well as legal consultations with attorney Ed Conroy. We have hearing screenings with at-home hearing healthcare. Those are once a month. Foot care specialist Donna Golden. Donna's here again once a month, and this starting for 2026, she has a longer day, so she'll have more appointments available. She's gonna be here full days. So that's cool.
Job too.
Yep. And our new town nurse, Annie Stasnos, will be holding blood pressure clinics now every Thursday. We were alternating twice a month, but Annie's going to be here every Thursday from now on. So that's nice for the consistency for people to have that blood pressure check, keep the record of it, and they see week to week what that's all about. So Our triad program continues to grow in partnership with the district attorney's office, Plymouth County Sheriff's Department, Kingston Police and Fire. And at the end of this month, our triad committee will meet, followed by a public presentation from Lieutenant Tibbetts from the Bureau of Criminal Investigation, BCI Crime Lab. Gail, I know you're into this. That'll be on the 22nd. That should be interesting. We're scheduling events and activities for 2026 and collaborating with friends, which Mary alluded to, on ideas for things that they can sponsor with their fundraising dollars. So we were having conversations, I think it had been on the agenda for a while, and we finally took it off, but this is just a copy of the building usage agreement. It provides information on how the senior center can be utilized outside of regular business hours. Recently, the building was used by the Kingston Police Department to hold a 6-week Citizens Police Academy. Kingston Public Library held 2 events. Resident groups use it for meetings, and Mayflower Municipal Health Group offers a Zumba class at night for MMHG employees, retirees, and dependents. So if anyone has any questions on this, again, this is just something that like you would know about if somebody were to approach you and say, hey, can we use the senior center? The answer is yes. There's obviously certain restrictions, but everything is spelled out in here. So if anyone has any questions, let me know.
I'm glad it's going down.
I'm always willing to work with people on their needs. Again, this is just for after hours, like outside of when the senior center is open, which is Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. So nights, weekends. Everyone can keep a copy of that and let me.
If somebody wanted to know what was upcoming, would they go to you?
Yes,
Like any events, or go on the town website, or?
they would come to me. Essentially, we keep an internal calendar of who's using the building. So say, for instance, Finance Committee was having a meeting here, or they did a committee, like a tri-board meeting with Finance and the selectmen. So if that were the case, if it was a town meeting, the location would be listed on the town calendar, but otherwise some of these other things, unless that specific department or organization was promoting it, we would be the only ones to know about it.
So come to see you.
Yes, that's the easiest way.
So Zumba classes, what day?
So those are Monday nights, and again, those are only for municipal people that are in the Mayflower Municipal Healthcare Group. So town employees, retirees, school, anybody
So it's
that's
not really open to the public.
correct. Yes. Yep.
And do they pay they pay a fee, or
They-
they use the building?
They do not. They pay the instructor.
The people that come pay who pays? them?
No, a Mayflower pays the instructor, and it's free to people
Free.
that are in that group.
That group.
Correct.
So we realize nothing use of the building.
Not for particular groups, so that's all spelled out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Outreach, you have a chart from Jenny, her top 10 areas of outreach assistance that were provided in the month of December. Medicare open enrollment was still taking place then. Fuel assistance and housing were the most requested services. Transportation, in the month of December, we provided 330 rides through our transportation program, and we had 3 new riders. Again, I was explaining that we see the change in people who used to take the van and now don't take the van for whatever reason, but for every person typically that no longer takes the van with us, we're gaining new riders as well. In calendar year 2025, we provided 3,516 no-cost rides to seniors through our transportation program. So
That's a lot.
we have a new van driver, Cindy Mace, who recently completed week-long training at Gatcher headquarters and has successfully completed internal training with Patty and observing other van drivers. So Cindy's out on the road now. We also received a new 2026 Ford E350 8-passenger van from Catra on December 31st. We wanted to break a bottle of champagne over it like they do on ships, and I was like, that's probably not a good idea. We should pick a glass and whatever. So we got sparkling cider, and sat on the van, and we're like, so it's exciting. It's exciting for the drivers. It's it's more comfortable. It's just a new, like, everybody likes to get a new car, right? So.
We could never use that van to go out of the area though, right?
Can't because it's owned.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the short trips that I had always wanted to start.
Yeah. I know.
Gonna figure that one out.
Yeah.
Spring.
The cafe, in December, Cafe Evergreen served 337 meals, which included our holiday luncheon where we served 108 meals. Cafe was closed on December 25th for Christmas. So that's, I just put that into context of like, that was a working day, cafe day. So in calendar year 2025, Cafe served 4,140 meals.
Wow.
Great.
Wow.
And the ice machine was serviced in December. Replacement parts were installed in January. And just a reminder for the advisory board members who are due to complete conflict of interest training should be notified via email. I know that some of those reminders went out yesterday. If you're having trouble accessing it, let me know. We've heard a little bit of feedback. I don't know if the system was just bogged down yesterday because people were getting emails about it. We got them as employees. So we do have a public computer in the library, which is available for use. And I can always rush to logging in, but you don't have to print out your certificate anymore. It goes directly to the clerk's office. So don't worry about that, but it just does need to be done. You'll get notified. So.
I did mine after 2 weeks of trying.
I'm finally
I've had
kosher.
a lot of trouble.
I'm finally kosher.
Yeah.
I left out the part that I couldn't figure out, but I didn't.
So the survey results that Joanne was alluding to, are you all interested in digesting those? Is that something that you would like me to share with you? Or do you want to wait and have the plan? Because as she mentioned, the committee, the working group is filling out a poll to rate, to decide on those other 2 or 3 areas of focus that we want. So based on that, the work continues. It's certainly not done yet, but it is a very long, what do we say, 38 page document of the graphs and the ratings and whatever. If you would like me to share that with you, I'm happy to. Just send me a quick email if you want it.
That information that Joanne presented today was just a few pages. Do you
Yes.
have that?
I don't have
What
her
she presented?
presentation from today. I could get it, but I think she was just sort of
Well, just for us
giving the highlights.
personally, you have.
Again,
Not to go anywhere.
it's not etched in stone yet,
Right.
so it
Yeah.
really isn't.
It hasn't been off the ground.
Yeah, I wait.
Yeah, she was just really giving you a snapshot.
Yeah. And
But-
she did request it not go too far because it's not
Not finished yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So among us, it would be fine, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, I don't want
But-
35 pieces of paper.
It was just that front page where it listed the chart of those that were equal. It
Well,
just-
couldn't you
that
go
was-
online?
I
and,
suppose we could.
Could you go online and
Just
on
how
your
our person-
computer
Um,
and just have it printed out?
Joanne, I'm willing to guess that Joanne wouldn't mind sending me her slide deck from today
Right.
and sharing that with you all
Yeah,
because
right.
it's public. So,
It's very, very interesting. It is not going to be done. How many times have I said, it is not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's going to take a while.
Yeah, but don't say it.
It's gonna take a
Said that
while.
100 times.
I know. But it's really, it's a great.
It's a good thing, though, like, there were
it's a lot of
people
work.
that, took the,
Oh, we
Yeah.
did very well.
Mm-hmm.
Our town did excellent. Even beat Duxbury, believe it or not. But that was everybody pushing. Yeah. Everybody pushing. It was a good response.
So is that it, Molly?
yes.
I'm sorry.
So as far as the chair report, I don't have anything official, but in reflection of 2025, I want to give a shout out and thank our Director Holly, her staff, our volunteers, friends, and all those who have contributed to the success of our Kingston COA. We've had some exciting luncheons and special events, well attended. The Kingston upbeat COA spirit and positivity is truly remarkable this past year. I wish for a happy, healthy, and prosperous 26 and the continued success of our COA.
here, I second that.
Awesome. Good fresh blood in here.
Right, Melissa?
So
Okay.
into old business, I don't think we
Okay.
have anything to discuss. Does anybody have anybody to remember today or any special thoughts for anyone?
That's a good thing that we're quiet.
That's good. Okay, anything else? So our next meeting will be held on February 10th here in this room, the COA plus Zoom. As far as the tax schedule, it won't affect our meetings, Holly.
No.
So,
So they're gonna be, starting later.
okay,
on Tuesday,
after our meeting.
on the
okay.
days, yeah. On the,
How will it affect our meeting on one meeting?
good question. We can go up front.
Yeah, that's true.
I want my taxes done.
So the time is
Meeting.
12:25. Does anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Anybody second? Holly? All in favor? Aye. Oh, thanks for being here today. Have a great day ahead.
Our first meeting of the year.
Yeah.
It's a good
Oh,
meeting.
no, it's just my personal note.
Melissa,
Come
during
to,
the
this
week,
is
you don't
easy
have
for
to
me.
wait
I
till
make
next